Yeah.
Daily drivers, though.
Yeah.
I've gone through, personally, good ones and very, very shit ones. Up north, if you want to fix it yourself, you got to do it in your garage. Most of them are not heated. It gets dark at 3 o'clock. You're naturally more depressed. And so I just started to realize if you need a daily driver, for me, when I'm driving something in the wintertime, I need tires. I need good heat. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Check 1, 2. Check. My name is Alex. I'm here with Dakota.
Yep.
All right, sorry. Should we do the actual intro?
Yeah,
now?
do the intro.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
That's copyrighted.
I love gels.
We are
Welcome back to another episode of the MartiniWorks podcast. We are in my kitchen. Guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. We need to find a permanent spot for this. My wife is going to kill me. My wife is going to murder me. If she is like sleeping in after a long night of work and we're doing a potty at 10:20 in the morning in the kitchen while she's over, she will murder me.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so
talk nice and quiet.
Season 12,
We can just go back
we
to
are
the
going to have a
couch.
permanent location at some point. But
Yeah,
for right now,
working on it.
We're cruising. We're in like season 20.
yeah, we're moving.
little
It's good.
behind,
We
actually.
hope you guys are enjoying the podcast because it is a fuck ton of work, and we'd appreciate if you haven't subscribed yet to do so and comment. And Waffles would also like to say something.
Yeah, he's just been meowing it up. He's having a morning.
Waffles, you're not going outside. All right, let's talk about it. What's the first thing we're talking about today, Dakota? You got a couple things.
Yeah, so we've all evolved as car enthusiasts, I would like to think, at least.
hope so.
And we've gone from more of our cheaper neons and cobalts, and you've had like 80 million cars. So we've gone from those cars, and now we have Ferraris and Supras and BMWs and RX-8s and 240s and 240 actually.
One
That's
of
more
those
expensive
is not
than a Ferrari
like-
than a
yeah.
Supra.
That's the greatest
you're right.
appreciated car on the list.
The 240 SX is probably the most expensive car on the list at the very moment right now. So what I wanted to talk about, is it worth it to get more expensive cars? Or do you guys enjoy getting just your 10 grand, 8 grand cars and souping them up?
There is a lie out there that I want to talk about with this, because I had a friend from my past life who said, Alex, once you get a new car, you'll never go back. Having things like Apple CarPlay and having all those little tech features, they're so nice. You'll love them, and you'll never want to buy a car that doesn't have it ever again. That is a complete fucking lie. I don't give a fuck. It is nice to have Apple CarPlay and like the Z, for instance.
Yeah.
But when we were out this weekend in the Gloria, I got my little Bose like Bluetooth speaker just put up in the cup holders, press that thing on, start cranking some Soulja Boy as I'm drifting around. I don't care about
You're
that.
listening to Soulja Boy?
Dude, I was putting on some Lil Wayne, the Carter 3.
Lil Wayne, I could see that.
Yeah.
Soulja
Yeah.
Boy's
That's
an
a-
odd pick.
Well, sometimes
wild one.
Spotify goes out there a
Okay,
little
all
bit.
right. Blame
you know,
it on the
it's like-
Spotify.
Listen,
yeah.
He was
listen.
confident about it.
Like, I
at
gotta
first.
remove that from my life, please, you know?
Remove it quickly. So
Alex just out there, Superman. Yeah.
I do think there are some really cool things you get as you kind of go up the list of maybe cars, but I don't think it's like once you go up, you can't go back down. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because I think with every single car, I don't know how I did it or if I did this on purpose, but the car I got was more expensive than the last car I got.
Yeah.
Unintentionally, I wasn't like specifically trying for that. Obviously, I think you want to upgrade. You want to get something nicer than your previous vehicle. But what I've learned by doing that is I literally have just as much fun driving my Supra as I do an S2000.
Yep.
And I still want an S2000 the worst way. Now, those are going up in price, but you can still get them for around 20, 25, stuff like that. So what I've learned is I think new cars are flashy, and we all have a desire when you see it. It's just like, damn, that is awesome. But don't feel like you're missing out on a ton. I think older cars and just driving what you have is underrated. And if you can just really make what you have nice, you'll appreciate it so much. And I promise you're not missing out on a ton. The Supra is, though, one of my favorite cars that I've owned personally. So I think it was good that I got it, but I could totally see myself, if I were to get rid of it, going back and being okay with a bit of a cheaper car. Because one thing you don't realize too is when you get a newer car, all the parts are way more expensive.
Everything
Dude, it's
for no reason.
insane.
Yeah. So it makes modifying it not that fun when you have to buy $1,000 intake and $1,000 exhaust. And well, it's even more than that, actually. I spent way too much on the exhaust.
Why do you think that is? Is it because like with like the newer platforms and stuff like that there's such like a, you know, comparing it to like a 20-year-old car, there just isn't as many options out there for it? Is that what it is?
I think it's because they think you have money.
Yeah, I think it's
have a new
they
car.
know their
That's so
market, so they
fucked.
just jack up the price to what they feel is.
Like-
oh, you spent
like-
this on the car, you can spend this on the car part.
Like
I don't like that.
And the parts from overseas, where most of the place, you know, where most of the stuff comes from, it's like it's the same components. The factory is actually not charging those resellers any more money. It's just another like widget. It's just another piece.
Yeah.
They don't care if it's going on a 22 Nissan or if it's going on a 1996 Gloria. Like to them, it's just how big is it? How long does it take? That's how much it costs. So I think there is a little bit of that. And you have R&D that you are trying to like recoup, so to
Yeah,
speak. But I think there's like this fad of wanting to be the first to everything.
Yeah.
And I think companies know how to capitalize on it. It's like, oh, you want to be the first one to slam a Nissan Z. Well, we're the first one to come out with the kit, and it costs $5,000 versus $3,200.
Right.
And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like you shouldn't be okay with doing that, but you know, some companies are.
Yeah, parts are dummy expensive. And then one thing I'm very thankful with the Supra, but I know with other cars can be a nightmare, is after I bought it, I had this terrible gut feeling. I was like, holy fuck, I didn't look at the service or things that need, because sometimes like with those automatic transmission cars and stuff, like they need their transmission serviced every few thousand miles, and it's dummy price because it's a more expensive car. And I was like, oh, shit.
I need to go get the new firmware for my transmission or some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
no shit. But luckily, very normal prices on Supra.
I learned this with the Z. I didn't know that this was a thing. I got a email.
Oh no.
This was the weirdest shit ever. I got an email from Nissan that's like, hey, here is your vehicle in review. And I'm like, what?
Wait, hold on.
And it's got all of these categories of things on my car. How many miles I drove,
What?
the average, the speed
They're
I took,
tracking you.
the if I had any maintenance or recalls, what I seemed to do the most. Like it had all these like activities and like information, and I'm like, how in the hell does Nissan know this? This is crazy. So I went out to the car and I went in there, and it's got something called like Nissan Active Technology that I can turn off, but it's currently turned on. That literally anything I do in the car, Nissan knows about.
You just get like your monthly performance report.
Literally, it felt like I was getting getting my social report card from school. It's
you
like,
imagine?
hey,
Yeah.
little too much here, bud.
Can you imagine like a new 16-year-old driver, like that, like family got a new car, right? And they not only the report card from school you have to worry about your mom seeing, but the report card from the dealership on how you were driving the family car.
Car rats you out.
It was the wildest
That's
thing.
fucked.
Yeah, and it was just I left it on just because I didn't know how to really turn it off, to be completely honest. But I thought that was absolutely wild for a
Yeah,
new car.
that's weird.
I will say, like going back,
I don't know.
going back to the conversation, like you go up in price at our previous life, I did a lot of that. I was like, okay, well, I have this $50,000 car. I can make 10. I want to go get a $60,000 car. Then I went to 70, and it just kept rapidly climbing. And then after I had left, even before I had left, I realized that was a really stupid way of buying a car for me, because I really don't have any emotional attachment to cars. There's like one or two that I would say I do. The Datsun, I did. The 430, I think I do, where I'm not going to realize it until I get rid of it.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
That's usually how it goes. But I went back and I was like, I want to buy something that is emotionally fun.
Yeah.
And that was when we bought Clapped Car. And buying Clapped Car was for no other reason than because it felt like it would be fun. And it was fun. It was such a blast. And we need to get that car
Still
back.
is fun.
Yeah, it still is a blast. But then the Nissan Gloria was another emotionally charged reason to buy, which was I want to show people that there's other things out there to get that aren't, this super overhyped car for $30,000. You can get a Gloria.
I love the Gloria.
you
slaps.
And so I found way more joy in trying to find cars like that than anything else.
The new cars are nice. They got a lot of technology. They're usually faster. They're a little more, there's nothing really broke with them, hopefully. But, there's something about a shit box. I don't know.
There
There's
is.
something about a shitbox.
There's something loving. It's endearing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's a kind of a shitbox, but it's mine.
Might be a little bit of Stockholm syndrome because it's like you're forced to deal with it all the time.
You had to deal with it this weekend.
Oh my God, all the time. It's nonstop.
This is the crazy thing for me, and this is why I love driver motorsport. I would almost get them tattooed on me because we had the Nissan Gloria. It's gone out for its second drift day, where there's apparently things that you need to do. Like, hey, Alex, take a break every once in a while. Hey, cool down the tires every once in a while. Give the car a break. And I'm like, fuck that. I want as much time on that track as humanly possible. And I have like just given that thing all the beans. And it's on its second full day, knock on wood. This isn't real wood. That I haven't had any issues with it outside of the tires blowing up, which is absolutely incredible because driver motorsport helped me with everything.
This motherfucker didn't bring spare tires to it.
I did not think I was going to go through a set of tires. I'd never done that before. I was very proud of
You
myself.
bring more oil because that thing fucking pissing oil.
No,
my
she
friend.
sweats oil. She sweats oil. It's enough to clean up with a single rag. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it was
But
it was like our last like tandem of the day. And he spun like really quick.
Oddly.
And I was like, that was weird. And I was like, he hadn't been spinning a lot all day.
Yeah.
He must have just been
Tires
really
were
hyped or
gone.
something. We pull back into the pits, and I literally see like the wires just showing and like poking into the ground from his rear tires.
It looks
And
like
we're
that's like
stop
you see
doing
my
that.
hair? That's what my cords look like.
Yeah.
On the tire just sideways like
yeah,
this.
and he just kind of looked at me, and the realization set. He's like, "Oh no."
I don't have anything else.
I'm like, you're fucked, bud.
I know. I made such a rookie mistake with it. I was having so much fun with that Gloria. I love the weight. I know people are like, oh, you'll like lighter cars that have more horsepower and time. And it's like, maybe. Yeah. But for now, there is nothing more fucking baller than going around a turn and going into a drift and then feeling the weight just like go with you. And all of a sudden, the whole back of the car slides into the corner.
Feels
even
like
more.
you're drifting a limo.
It does, and it's the most satisfying feeling fucking ever. I don't know what it is. I love it. We drove the Torque Motorsport GR86.
Yep.
That's a super fun car.
How
too.
did that do drifting?
Fully stock motor,
Yep.
trans, all of it.
It's
Awesome.
just coilovers, basically.
Just coilovers, and it was awesome. Nexon helped us out with getting
Mm-hmm.
tires for both the Gloria and the GR86, the SU1s and the 240. They're awesome. Loved them to death. They gave Gels a ton more control in the front. I think you said.
Yeah. I had a lot of authority in the front. Like, dude, the car felt fantastic on those tires, and it was the best I've driven.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun, but the GR86 was good. It was one of those cars though that Gels taught me this too, where it's like you have to give her the beans.
All the beans.
And that e-brake is the anti-bean maker. Like it's like I don't know how to explain it. When you go into drifting, you can clutch kick, you can e-brake. There's some weight transfer in the middle. Low horsepower cars, you really want to avoid using that e-brake because you're slowing yourself down so much. Problem is, I was trying to figure out which way worked best. Does a clutch kick work best or does an e-brake work best? And every single time I ripped that e-brake, I would get the angle, and then the car would slow down to fuck all.
Yeah.
It was like, God, it was so annoying.
Yeah, the angle's great, but then it's like, shit, I went from like 15 miles an hour to 5.
Yeah, I couldn't connect shit. And
Yeah.
so it was fun. It does need more speed. I think for me, it's just about seat time, though. You know, one of the things I will say in the Gloria, I would always say that getting a good seat is like the number one most important thing. The stock GR86 seats did really well
Did
at
they?
like holding me in. I didn't have like the bruise or rash that you
Dude,
get on
I
like,
am-
the side of your knee.
I look like I got fucking beat up.
Yeah.
My legs are bruised.
Yes,
like
so are mine
crazy.
after Sunday when I was
Yeah.
fucking sliding around in the taxi going back.
Yeah,
and
the
forth.
stock S14 seats ain't it. I got like a bruise here. There's one like on both of my knees from like the door and like the center. Dude,
You need a seat.
I need a seat.
I think what I would say, if you're trying to decide, you know, should I get a more expensive car, right? Or are more expensive cars better? Like, take the money part out of it and really start to ask yourself, like, what do you want out of the car? Because if you want an experience, you're going to get more experience, I think, out of cars that have maybe a little bit more of a story behind them. Problem is, people go into the absolute extreme story and they never crawl out of it. Like they buy a shell or they buy some just fucking rat's nest of a project car and it never gets running again. And it puts a bad taste in your mouth. I made that mistake once with Michael Shaw in like 2015 with a Nissan 240SX that Brian Rainey bought. We'll never do it again. I never bought a car like that again. I learned once, fucking done.
Hey, at least you learn.
yeah.
But if that's what you're looking for, go for something like that.
I think it's because it gets so muddy now too. Because like everything's fucking expensive. You go buy like a new car, like you can go buy a fucking like Camry for like $40K.
Yeah.
Or it's like, or I could stick $40K into a 240.
It's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It like you said, I think it's a good point. Depends on what are you looking for? What are you looking to get out of it? If it's something, like for instance, if I were to look for like another like newer car, like when I was looking for the FRS, I wanted something a little more, I guess you could say expensive because I was coming from a 2G Mitsubishi Eclipse to something. I wanted something that was like I could daily and I could modify a little bit. It was newer, wasn't going to have issues. And that's what I got out of it. And that's why I spent a little more money on it. So, yeah, it really comes down to each scenario, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You should. What I think is before you buy a car, I know you want to impulse buy it because I want to impulse buy things. So I know there's other people
Everything
that
I
do.
see.
But look at the full circle, like Jill said, of everything you need. But then go into the weird stuff too. Check out insurance. Check out some of the forums that people are on and see what they're complaining about. Look at maintenance and things like that before you go and buy the car because that can be the stuff that makes or breaks it.
Bro, the insurance part is so true.
Yeah.
Because it's
I've
not
seen
on
so many
it's
people.
not on cars you expect too. Like I remember at one point the 3000 GT SL that I had, not the VR4.
Yep.
The SL when I was like 17 was like $140 a month, which back then when I was 17,
That's quite bad.
holy shit, that was as much as my like
That's the
payment.
car payment,
That was my
yeah.
car payment. And I didn't know that until obviously afterwards, and it's like,
Because you never check out that guy's
no.
beforehand. You're just like, I'll deal with it. It won't be that bad.
and then I learned my lesson because when I was looking at a B5 S4, I got a quote for insurance on it, and they were like, and so I'm like, okay, so then I do the C5 A6, same exact everything, except the fact that it's ugly and it's a little bit bigger and the exhaust pipes are hidden. And it was like 35% cheaper, 40%
It's the
cheaper.
exhaust pipes.
It was the exhaust pipes and the fact that it was really ugly color. And I was like, done. Bought the C5 A6. Was happy with my life. Insurance, dude, will kill you if
what
you're
was
on a
wild?
budget.
My insurance went down when I went from my Focus ST to the Supra.
Really?
I saved money
Why?
on insurance. I'm guessing
He's like, he's not a hot boy anymore. This guy's a dentist. He's going to buy his first sports car.
No.
There are adults buying these cars.
there's so many factors that go into it. I mean, they look at how many are stolen, how many are wrecked, how many blah, 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 so that goes into it. But also the Supra comes with a ton of safety features because it's a new car. So you're less likely to be hurt. So I have like proximity sensors and shit all over my car. So that
Insurance makes no
bring it
fucking
down.
sense.
I think insurance is
It's a
rigged.
scam, but you
I
should
think
check it out before you
insurance
buy your car.
Is rigged.
You need it.
And there's some weird shit going on behind there. Everybody's talking about security data on the internet. What they should be looking into is fucking Enterprise and American insurance and all that sort of shit. Because-
Enterprise is a rental company.
yeah, fuck those guys too.
Yeah, but they're slimy. Check them out.
Bro, anyway, we're going to take a break, I think.
Yeah.
And what are we coming back to?
When we come back, we talked a little bit about what car you should get, but we should talk a little bit about the dailies. Now, some of you have dailies that are your fun car, and then some of you have dailies that are a separate car. And I want to talk about modding them and if it's worth it, if you should do it, and maybe some of the best mods, some of the absolute don't do's. So we'll get into that.
Cool.
All right, so dailies, daily drivers, sometimes the not so fun cars, but the cars that do the dirty work and get you to work.
They're the real MVPs, honestly.
Yes.
Honestly, I think there is one daily driver that sits above all, and I just want to get it off my chest.
Okay.
And that is the Segway Super Scooter GT2 that can go 0 to 30 in like 3 seconds.
That
and has
was-
a top speed of 45 miles an hour. You can get it actually for $3,000 right now and use Alex Martini as a coupon code in the description link below.
That thing is more expensive than my daily.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Dude, that thing slaps. I'm not gonna lie. That thing
If you guys haven't
should be a
seen,
motorcycle. Like you need a license.
there's
to
a
drive
video over on the Alex Martini YouTube channel. It's getting the Gloria ready for drift day. It's got Gels' 240. It's got the Torque GR86 in it, and it also features a super scooter that Segway
GT2.
sent us, which we proved is faster than the Gloria unofficially. Please abide by all legal street signs and usages when using the Segway GT2. They told me to say that because you know.
Did they message you after that video? And were
No,
like,
no, no. They just, so they're like, hey,
Saw you.
just so you know, there's some value props. It's got battery recharger services.
No, they totally didn't just see you like doing 45 in a residential area.
No.
with
I
helmet,
wasn't going
wearing Birkenstocks.
I wasn't going 45. I was
45.
simply testing its acceleration, which it can do very well.
Yeah.
Daily drivers, though.
Yeah.
I've gone through, personally, good ones and very, very shit ones.
Start with the shit ones,
The shit ones always had the same root cause problem.
which was
The heater sucked.
oh
Interesting. Okay.
The heater sucked. Here's where I found it. I've had a lot of shit winter beaters. I've had Luminas, Monte Carlos, Aleros, Camrys,
Monte
Corollas, and I had I remember a Lumina. It was blue.
okay.
And it was
Mostar.
It was disgusting, right? And it like the seats were cloth, but it felt like there was a slight layer of slime on top of the cloth constantly. Maybe smoke, perhaps. Anyway, it had a kick-ass heater though,
Nice.
and it had new tires.
That's all you need.
And I did not give a single fuck about anything else.
You know, beater with a heater. That's all.
And then I was like, oh, next time I'm gonna get something cool, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, so I got the B7A4, that red Avant that I had. I winter drove that,
Good car.
right? But I spent a little bit more money.
Right. As you do.
Heater not as good.
Really?
Heater not as good.
Why?
No. I don't know. It just wasn't. Then the blowout valve was exposed to the ground because it made really cool noises.
Yeah.
Well, in winter,
Oh.
yeah. Then the battery started going out. Oh, got to replace that too. And then the heated seats sometimes worked and sometimes didn't. That started going out. And that's when I started to realize, you know what?
That's annoying.
The more fancy you seem to get with the winter beaters, the more of a pain in the ass. Because up north, if you want to fix it yourself, you got to do it in your garage. Most of them are not heated. Most of them aren't insulated. It's fucking 12 degrees outside. It gets dark at 3 o'clock. You're naturally more depressed. And so I just started to realize if you need a daily driver, you just got to focus on like the two key essentials you just can't miss out on, which for me, when I'm driving something in the wintertime, I need tires, I need good heat. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Car needs a start.
Yeah, that is a huge one.
It's got to be mechanically solid.
It doesn't even have to be mechanically solid though.
as long as it starts, though.
Yeah, as if it's...
Well, that's what I mean
Done
by
my fair share of push starting
But,
E36
yeah.
in the winter. It doesn't work well.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, if it's got a little lifter tick, fuck it. You know?
Right. If you got to add a little bit of oil or add a little bit of coolant,
That's
it is
part
what
of
it
the
is.
game.
But,
Yeah, if
like,
it's got an exhaust leak, fuck
you
it.
just got to know it's going to get you to where you need to go. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the main point of a daily. If it's cosmetically a little rough, so be it. That's all right. It's the daily. Now, for some people where they're like fun car and their daily combine, I think that's a dangerous game because you obviously want to mod it to holy hell, but you can't.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you start modifying the daily, that is a slippery slope.
See, that's where I just think rice doesn't always have a place, but I think it does with the daily drivers. Like, go with more cosmetic-oriented stuff with your daily driver versus trying to change the performance elements of your daily driver. That's how I think.
What do you mean?
Like, change your fucking wheels, you know?
Okay,
Do
yeah.
something like that. Throw some window tint on it. Make yourself a happy boy.
Yes.
Get yourself maybe a touchscreen on the inside of your 2002, you know, whatever car. But don't go in and be like, I'm going to get new headers. I'm going to get a new exhaust intake. Because you're sitting underneath a car with 180,000 miles, and you're looking at the header. And that motherfucker's not coming out in any way, shape, or form that you plan to.
No.
And getting it back into the same spot with your $300 header that you bought from eBay ain't gonna fucking do shit. And you're gonna turn it on. It's gonna... Sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, great. Glad I made my daily driver now more annoying.
Glad I spent more money in a whole weekend, and it's worse now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think there's room for some mechanical upgrades. What I would look at is like maybe if it's time to replace your filter and you're really liking the daily and you're vibing with it, sure, throw on a cold air intake or a ram air intake, but don't go too wild. You know, just
Ramrod.
simple stuff. Keep it simple with the daily. One of my favorite dailies I ever had was my Jetta Sportwagen TDI. And I did
we
the
go.
EGR and DPF delete on that.
You can't say that. EPA is gonna sue you.
I don't care. They can sue me because it was the best thing ever. I was getting over 60 mpg with it. It sounded cool when you drove it. It sounded like a diesel, you know. Well, it was.
I remember
like
that thing.
And that was like, I feel like I did the perfect modifications. I did coilovers, wheels, and then just the EGR DPF delete.
You did a chrome delete.
Oh yeah, vinyl wrap the chrome.
Tint.
So it just looked nice and it was simple and I didn't throw a big turbo on it or any of that crap. Just like an exhaust, something simple. And I made sure to not get like the crazy exhaust, like the race one or however they labeled it, because I was like, this is my daily. I don't want it to stink like diesel, and I don't want it to be freaking super loud on the highway.
Yeah.
So you just got to be a little more mindful, but I think there's room for modifications on the daily.
What happened to that car?
Yeah, Joe's. Dakota, what's your name?
That's Charles. I'm Dakota.
Oh my god.
I traded.
We just
I
talked.
got rid of it, and I never, ever should have got rid of that car.
What'd you get rid of it for?
The 20th, the GTI.
What happened to that one?
I sold it.
Why?
And now what do you have?
The Supra.
And
Oh, a Jetta.
not just any Jetta.
Oh yeah, the Mark IV 24 valve.
Oh
VRC.
my god! Every
GLI.
time,
Yeah.
every time Volkswagen people, all the time, they're all the same. I swear to God, I love it.
You bought one and you ended up with like 3 more. I
It
love
is. It's like
Yeah,
the
Volkswagens are weird. How that worked? I don't even know how that.
they're
all
like
happened.
the
It was-
bunnies of the car industry. I
It
swear
was
to
so
God.
funny watching it from like the third person perspective of like, it started with like the TDI and it was so good. And then it was like that the Mark IV GTI, the 20th came up for
Yep.
sale. He's like, oh my God, dude, this guy wants to treat me straight up. I'm like, it's so sick. And then like the parts started coming
Dude,
and there was
yeah.
hoods and fenders.
I
and
still am suffering from the plague of
seats
Volkswagen
and steering
parts.
wheels.
Yeah.
And like I went over to Dakota's house and like the whole garage was just Mark IV Volkswagen parts. And then the freaking the Jetta came.
Yep.
And I was like, I think you have a problem. and then you're good now. You're good.
Yeah.
That's like I remember meeting. I think one of my first like true Volkswagen enthusiasts was a guy named Sam Spooner in Eau Claire, and I remember he was big in the Volkswagen community. And then Adam Rawl got me into the Audi kind of scene, which then spiraled into this like chaos of being a Euro guy. And over time, I never got fully into it because I literally did not have the space to be a full-on Volkswagen person. But the whole R32, VR6, that whole game was like, it was huge. And then I watched all of them kind of go down that path of having a billion parts and a billion cars. And I'm like, that can't be normal. And then I met more Volkswagen people. Tyler Clarkson was a huge Volkswagen guy. Love the dude to death. I could be like, what is that? From like a mile away, and it just be all you'd see is the Volkswagen logo. Be like, yeah, that looks to be one that was probably made in September 2003. Looks to have the handles that were made in Mexico. I have like 4 of those hoods at the house if you need one. And it goes and it spirals and it spirals. The most extreme case I met was a guy named Jamie. He's the one that did the crate rotiform wheels for SEMA.
Yeah.
When I met him when I was doing the Banging Gears video in Las Vegas, the guy he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Like everything
For
he said, I was
Volkswagen
just
stuff,
like,
it's
holy
insane.
shit. I was like, how many cars do you have? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, thought it was like a joke. And I was like, no, I'm serious, Jamie. How many do you know? He's like, I literally don't know. Last time I counted the cars in the States, I have like 50.
Oh my
And they're
god.
all fucking
And he's like, and I also have cars in South Africa, and he's got cars, and he starts talking, and all of them are fucking Euro cars. Like 90% of them are all Euro cars, and it blows my mind. Once you get into it, it's like you can't leave it.
Yeah. So modifying your daily, you can 100% do it. What, for me, like with the BMWs, my daily, it's just a 328. So it's a base model. I kept it simple. I did some coilovers, got some wheels and tires. I tinted it. It was my first car with tint.
It's so crazy to me you waited that long
I know.
to tint your car.
I kind of like it. It's pretty nice. But that, and then I got a little like carbon lip spoiler for it.
Sure.
And honestly, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
would
one thing too I was going to say real quick about it was you don't want your daily to attract cops too much either.
Yes.
So you got to be even careful with some of the cosmetic stuff because you don't want it to be too flashy because when I'm driving the daily, I'm just trying to go point A to point B and maybe have a little bit of fun with it because, I still enjoy cars and whatnot, but I don't want to be dicking around with cops or parts falling off or mechanical issues or anything like that.
I would say that if you are at a point in buying a daily, this is going to be a weird conversation, but if you are looking at wagons, I'd be willing to put money on the line that your next daily purchase is going to be a truck. Because when you look at the dailies that people are buying, right, they typically go for something that's just like a heater, got the basics, and then they go into, okay, well, I want something that's got 4 doors, give me a little bit of space.
Yeah.
Comfortable.
And then there's the the ultimatum.
The utility.
I want something that can also have space for stuff because I'm getting older and I'm going to Home Depot and I need
Wagons are
the
the
space.
best.
And you either go wagons or you go truck. Every single time you always go wagon or truck. And it's like wagons are cool. I love them, had them. There's not many options out there anymore that seem to really make
At least
sense.
not in the
to
States.
buy.
The fucking across seas always gets
They got the
fucking
coolest
wagon.
shit. Like all the time they have cool wagons. But like over here, what do you really got? You got an Audi all-road. You got the Volkswagen.
Yeah, what is that? They changed it from the sport wagon. It's what is it now? I can't remember.
But everything else is an SUV.
Buick has a
Yeah,
wagon
you got
too.
the Buick. Yeah, the big old Buick.
Yeah, you got a
looks like-
Volvo wagon. Volvo wagons are cool, but they're expensive because
Yeah,
they're
there's
only new.
there's a couple options.
There's
but
like
yeah, they
3.
definitely dialed back.
Yeah, and that's what sucks because it's like I do think wagons, if you were to try to find which type of car checks all the boxes, that's not an SUV because fuck them.
Exactly.
Wagon. You're gonna get everything you want.
Dude,
a
you
lot
are
of
making people just punch the air right now because I know we say wagon when it's wagon or something.
if you're looking at getting a saloon, let's make sure. Like I don't know. Wagons are cool. I love them to death. I think you can make
too.
them look really good too.
Oh, yes.
Because
100%.
as a daily, the longer you get with those cars that have that big ass, hanging off the end, you lower it a little bit, you get better fitment on it, and then you tint the windows. The car immediately looks brand new.
What would be your number one recommendation for someone looking to modify their daily, like, gotta have part or done to it?
I would say if you're going to invest in anything with a daily that you want to keep you moving, that's technically a mod. I would really put emphasis on tires that will last the length of the car. Like if you have a daily and you're only planning to keep it a year, then just get something that'll get the job done. But if you're like, I want something where I just won't have to worry about it. Continental, DWS06, or get your extreme contacts, or get whatever it is that's going to line up with wherever you live. Because it's got like a 50,000 mile warranty. It's got roadside assistance. It's got all this sort of extra crap that will help you out if you have any issue. Like the tire matches the insurance that you're buying a daily driver car for. I would invest in tires personally.
Yeah, that's really what I was going to say too. And if you're up here in the Great White North, maybe get an extra set of wheels with winter tires. Having some all seasons to drive around on, but then getting some dedicated winter tires that you can swap over is the best thing for a daily. It is the feeling when it is a blizzard out and you having 100% confidence and not caring and then literally blowing by everybody else on the road is you feel like a king.
Yeah, you wanna feel like you actually are better than people out on the road. Have winter tires during a winter snowstorm is the best way to go. Can you explain? Because I don't think I remember having this conversation. I don't know if our audience has ever heard it.
Yeah.
Winter tires being only used in the winter time.
Yes.
Versus people using winter tires for all seasons.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Why not? Tell me why.
So winter tires are a very, very, very soft compound, allowing you to get better traction in the winter. So if you use them when it starts to warm out or warm up on the dry pavement, you're going to eat through those puppies so damn quick that they'll be gone.
Yeah.
Before your eyes, just blink, gone.
And they're not cheap.
Do it. Yeah, no. Do what Dakota said. If you're going to run like a dedicated winter tire, throw them on the stockers or throw them on another set of wheels and then have like some maybe nice wheels to swap out for like the summer and fall.
Also understand that all season surprisingly does not mean all seasons.
I thought that was a thing for the longest
Dude,
time. Too.
and it's like the same. There's like in the tire industry, there are so many fuck all marketing tactics to like try to appease this massive industry. And it's the same thing we talked about treadwear. We probably are posted it by now or are going to post it, where it's like, Cho did a video talking about treadwear and like how same brand, same tire size, different treadwear. And he starts talking about how treadwear works. And it's like, well, treadwear is really more of like a marketing game than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not actually how you'd want to measure a drift tire or not. You'd want to measure
based off of anything. It's
exactly
just a fucking number.
It's measured off a control tire that's not it's not regulated by the government.
Right. It's
you just
different
have to
per
provide
manufacturer.
it. Yeah, like a 320 in a Conti is not the same as a 320 in a Michelin.
No.
And a 320 in a Nitto for a summer tire is not the same thing as a 320 for a Nitto as a all season.
Right.
They're
Also,
different.
Another thing I found out while looking into that was they can actually lower the tread wear. You can't go over. You can't say
go
a
under.
higher number than what it is, but you can say under it so they can put whatever they want. And I know that sounds weird, like why would you want to lower it, but there's just for certain marketing reasons
Literally.
and what you want to do with the tire and who you want to hit with it. Treadwear, like you were saying, it's just a big marketing.
But that's like, so going into the winter tire conversation, kind of taking it back, it's with the compound. The compound is the biggest thing with winter tires, and if you go past that, you eat through them. Very, very expensive.
Yep.
You're not gonna enjoy winter tires. You probably won't get them again. I think what I was trying to get to though was with all seasons. That's right.
Yep.
With all seasons, it's literally only like spring, summer, fall, and maybe a teeny tiny bit of snow. Like a baby amount.
Yeah.
Like not even that. Like it's temperature related. So all seasons, like 3 seasons. It's like a 3 seasons Porsche.
I mean, I run all seasons.
In the wintertime?
Yeah.
They'll get you by.
Loser.
I know.
But you're also all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that has helped a lot. But yeah, no, I got the Michelin, the all season 4s or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't do
all
season tires in the winter, but
I'm just
the
saying-
amount of
Yeah.
change
The
when
biggest-
you get a dedicated winter tire.
The biggest thing that I noticed, because like, you know, I drove the BMW all year. And it did good. I never got like stuck. I never had to really worry about it. You know, we went down to Milwaukee during that
remember.
fucking blizzard.
Yeah, it did a good
you know,
job there.
the only thing there was like, you know, the stopping. I was not confident in the stopping. Like I had to take it really easy. And when we hopped in Dakota Supra with the freaking Continental, you know,
Viking Contact 7s.
Contact 7s, and we're rolling like flying up to a stop sign, and it like stopped like it was on pavement. I was like, holy shit.
It's wild.
You know, that was crazy. Like I was grabbing something. Like, we're gonna fucking die. You know, because I'm used to like having to really ease into that.
That is literally the definition of all-wheel drive being the reason you can get through. Because if you don't have the stopping power, but you have the maneuverability, right? That's all-wheel drive sending power to the right wheel to get you the traction. Him being able to just dead-ass stop in a blizzard, that is just his systems, and then also the tire actually grabbing the snow to slow it down.
Yeah, that was what opened my eyes. I was like, holy shit, I'm missing out.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it's worth it. Now, I'm sure a lot of people here don't even have to deal with winter, but that doesn't mean that tires can't be a good purchase.
But for California, right, that same concept goes into rain, right? Because over there it doesn't rain a lot, but when it does rain, everybody crashes. People in the Midwest make fun of people in California for crashing, but there's a reason why California and Texas people crash. It's because there's so much gosh darn oil in the asphalt that doesn't get washed off. And so when it does rain, it all lifts and it turns into like just an ice skating rink. Yeah. There are certain tires you can buy that can cut through that better than other ones, right? All seasons are kind of like the catch-all, I feel like. And depending on where you live, try to spend some time to figure out like what you want the most. Up here, winter tires are super huge because it's like 5 months out of our lives.
Yeah,
every
it's a good
single year.
chunk.
4 months out of our lives. You know, down in the West Coast with the rain being one of the big things that can throw you off guard, get a good all season that has dedicated like rain technology for the roads or oil or things like that. Because certain tires, when you look far enough in, are built for certain geographical locations too.
Or just make sure that your tires aren't fucking bald as shit.
Yeah.
Like I did at Drift Day.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should take a break, come back with another topic. What are we talking about? Do you know?
So to wrap things up, should you mod daily? Absolutely. Just be thoughtful about it. As car enthusiasts, I don't think we can get away with not modifying something. So do it, but just think about it before you do it. When we come back, we're going to be talking about getting ready for Gatlinburg and what to expect for that. We got one of the biggest car shows of the year coming up.
It's time to talk about Gatlinburg 2023, or as I like to call it, the second time I fill up the 430 for the year.
That is accurate.
It is so painfully accurate. Gatlinburg is an awesome, awesome car show. But what makes it so incredible, it's hosted by Slam Enough, but what makes it so incredible is just the weekend. It is like the Wisconsin Dells, but in the mountains and better in every way. And it's awesome. And it's grown exponentially. It's a little scary because if you remember the H2OI days, you know where that headed. If you're from the Automotion days, you know where that headed. Hopefully this one breaks the curse. I'm hopeful it will, but we're not here to talk about if she's going to go bad. We're here to talk about this year and what's going to be awesome about it.
Yeah, right? I thought it's been cool too because like we're going to have a MartiniWorks booth there.
Yes, sir.
And what we've been trying to cook up for booths, we've been trying to, in a way, reinvent kind of what's going on. And I think it's been kind of neat. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna be we're like a signed secondary sponsor. We're not a primary sponsor. We ain't got that kind of money. Okay, first off, we just don't. Anyway, we are bringing some cars, and we're trying to bring a more of an experiential space to Gatlinburg.
I love our booth. I think it's cool.
And we're working to make it better each and every single time. But we got a lot of really cool stuff coming for this year, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to overhype and underdeliver. But we're gonna have a sim rig there. We're gonna have some competition with that sim rig. We're gonna have what we want to call like a lounge space that we'll be bringing to the area as well.
Sometimes you just gotta let the dogs rest.
Yeah, sometimes you just got
a lot of walking.
You got to sit, And we also have some really awesome dedicated apparel that we're going to be releasing as well that we're really freaking floored for. I don't want to get into it too much yet. I actually have one of the samples sitting right over there that I'm super stoked for. And then the guy, Keith, who made the design for Gatlinburg last year is going to be coming back to help us with the design for this year, which I'm really excited for because he does awesome artwork.
Did he do the Riverside one too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And he did a bunch of my tattoos.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I think for me, gosh, what I'm most excited for in Gatlinburg, and it's a little one. What I'm excited for, and this is gonna sound silly.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a big podcast pause.
All right.
Morning coffee.
God damn it, I knew it was coming.
Guys, hear me out. It's the best. It is the goddamn best place to go grab your mediocre coffee because it's all fucking drip coffee. You grab it, you throw some creamer in there, you mix it around, you go out at 6 o'clock in the morning, you open the doors, the sun is just breaking through the mountains, you hear the birds, and then
ruin it for me. Fucking birds. Shut the fucking
And-
birds up.
you sit down and you just take in the nature.
The thing is, though, there's a downside to that.
That was beautiful.
There is a huge downside to this.
Don't talk about the money.
That no, not necessarily the money. It's just that the problem is to get that experience, to get Alex his morning coffee view. It comes at a cost, and that cost isn't necessarily money. It's the fucking 80-degree vertical driveway that none of us can get our fucking cars up to, so we have to scatter them around Gatlinburg.
That's true.
Throughout the night parking and then convoy like people like hanging off the side of vehicles to get up to the cabin.
And I do it again too because the view is
We're
awesome.
doing it again. I know we are.
It's tough because I'm with you on that. Like the cabins though are breathtaking, and I get it. I get why we do it. But man, it is the biggest nightmare having everyone with their nice show cars that are half an inch off the ground trying to figure out where to put these cars on these mountains.
I'm halfway convinced that we should just show up to Gatlinburg with the cars jacked up to the sky on coilovers and then lower it afterwards.
I got air, so I'm good.
Yeah, I got air too,
Even
and I
with
also
air,
almost
dude,
bottomed out.
These are the worst driveways in the country.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating.
It's not even the fact of like the cars are low. It's like the fact that it's steep and it rains every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and
dude.
it gets slippery.
What I would-
as hell.
Some good tires.
Yeah.
Rain tires. I've seen people that are like, they drive the stance boys and girls. They drive the 12
yeah, you
hours.
can-
They brag about the fact that they drove their car all the way
Yeah.
here. Good for you. I love you to death. Don't give a shit. I'm just happy you're here. And then they go through and they get to the fucking place where all the cabins are. All these cabins are owned by like 3 families, I swear to God.
Yeah.
And you get there, and what's the very first thing you see? A speed bump. And they're big. They're not small speed bumps.
Yeah. No.
They are big boy speed bumps. And you try to go around the grass for the first one. The second one, though, that one's gated. All right? That one you have to go over. When we were there last year, I think it was it was for Gatlinburg. I must have seen every single time we came down that mountain, 2 to 3 cars, like clockwork, broken front bumpers, shattered.
No.
Because their stance,
Yeah.
they don't lower it or they don't raise it. They go through. Next thing you know, they go to the car show. They get called that they've been catfished, and then they get stuck outside.
Damn.
And the whole social media ensues after that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh well.
It's worth it though because this car show is so sick. The location is amazing, and then going and cruising on some of those. It's like it's not just the car show that makes this weekend. It's just the whole area, the vibe,
everything.
the people, everywhere you go, hanging out with some of your best friends, people you see there, and just the entire weekend.
Yeah.
And what you do is what makes it. The car show's a plus. I personally think we need to stop making car shows fucking 8 hours long. My God.
Yeah, I would agree.
Stop that.
I would agree. I think we had, and it sucks because then your car's stuck there too.
You're stuck there too.
Yeah,
you can't leave. You can't eat the food you want. You got to eat the fucking shitty burger from the fucking thing in the vending area.
I got a cheat code, but it's gonna make me sound like a pompous prick, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
My cheat code was I brought 2 cars because I was so fucking fed up with having a car stuck in the car show. Yeah. So then I think it was last year, 2 years ago, brought the Gloria. Or it was the Gloria. Then the last time it was the Audi. But I remember having that Gloria there, game changing. Yeah. Anytime I needed to leave, because it was like parked off in some random corner, like people took pictures. I did not give a fuck. It could have been next to a Chevy Silverado 1500. I just needed it to be near a public road.
Yeah, Alex could have just boogied out, grab his Starbucks.
Literally, I boogied out. I went and I grabbed my coffee, came back, walked back in.
Got it confiscated because you didn't buy it from the fucking venue.
Yeah, let me tell you what. I'm willing to sit in front of this camera and tell you right now. Those vendor regulations on what you can or can't bring in. So I get it. You don't want to bring in like a 30 rack of Busch. That obviously doesn't look good, right? But like coolers, coffee, that sort of stuff, water. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to bring in whatever I fucking can so that I don't have to pay $6 for water. I've already paid an astronomical amount of money to even be in the goddamn building for being a vendor. It's like, dude, let me have my caramel mop.
I'll never forget when we went down that one. It was like the first year we went, and we smuggled in about 30 McChickens and 30 like McDoubles.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad about that.
And a duffel bag. And the people just looked at us when we unzipped the duffel bag, and we're all just standing there smacking McDonald's. And they're just like, well, it's already over with, so fuck it.
I get it, right? You want to keep it under control. But I am going to take the food that is affordable and that I can feed 30 people with. I'm not going to go into this vendor space and be like,
$20 on a
would you like $17 for 3 chicken tenders and 62 fries? Probably less.
Oh, also the line is 5 miles long because it's the only fucking thing
I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Yeah, I remember there was a show in Chicago, Tuner Evolution, and it was one of those like 8-hour car shows. Your car is locked in. You are not allowed to leave until the show is over. And so Maya and I went. It was a phenomenal show. The caliber of cars were insane, but it's like, I think by the 4th time we walked around and seen every car, it was like, I'm losing my mind. And it was an indoor show. So you're just like in this building. So we literally left, walked to our hotel and slept. And then when it was like an hour left of the show, woke up, walked back. And then
8 hours is a long time for a car show. Oh, and then it's the whole weekend. So it's Saturday and Sunday.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. WCC, we locked it in at 5 hours.
Perfect.
That's the longest. The longest is 5 hours. So 12 to 5, because you get there, you get parked by 1, you get to enjoy the cars. Usually there's like drag racing or there's some sort of activity happening. You go there for an hour or two, you eat something, you buy a t-shirt, and by the end, the show's wrapping up. Absolutely. Like that way you get to enjoy, sometimes like the second half of a day.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't need to be the entire day.
Yeah. Because it's like we get back to the cabin. It's like fucking 7 p.m.
Night out.
Like, we gotta get up at 6 a.m. to be back.
But I do like, hear me say, I'm talking kind of brash about like the food and stuff. Like, I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't support Slammed Enough if I didn't believe in what they're doing.
Right.
I love what they're doing.
The show, I'm more complaining.
It's not there. It's like that's just how it goes. Like that is the car show world right now, unfortunately.
And we deal with the same thing when we host season opener for WCC, where it's like the grounds wants a cut of every Coca-Cola bottle and wants a cut of every sandwich sold and wants only the stuff to be bought from the venue. And it's like, guys, I'm bringing in breakfast for the team, whether you fucking want it.
And I'm gonna bring a case of Aquafina
and
water.
I'm going to bring water, and you are not going to do anything about it, and that is going to just be the relationship because I paid the money, But Gatlinburg is sick. I would say, like, I think a lot of times people put so much emphasis on the show though, and it's like, plan other things too.
And there's so much. Even if it's cruising, taking photos, like you can get some of the dopest photos out in Gatlinburg.
Are insane.
Yeah, we did that last year.
Tail of the Dragons, like right there.
It's like an hour and a half.
That is on my
for a lot of
that's my bucket list. I need to get to Tail of the
Dragons. And not even that. Like there's like Tail of the Dragons, just like one of many Like that's obviously like the most popular, but there's so many roads like that.
You don't have to go to Taylor
Yeah.
Drink and have a fun time driving your car out there.
One of my favorite things was a couple years ago we went and we were driving up. I think we were in like the national park there, like the Smokies National Park, and we were like just driving up the mountains. And as we got higher, like it was foggy, right?
Yeah.
And we like were below the clouds, in the clouds, and then we were above the clouds. And dude, taking a photo of a dope ass car on the side of a mountain above the clouds is the wildest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a very cool feeling. It's awesome. We did that last year. I remember that I had Mark Felton drive the car up the hill as I stood out the sunroof and took pictures of Lars's car and Dale's car because it was just so beautiful, you know. And I'm like, I have to get pictures of this. And then we took the pictures, and I have the album still, and it's like it looks like it's raining, then it looks like it's 4:00 in the morning. Then it looks like it's noon. And then it looks like it's fall. Like there's so many different weathers as you go up the mountains. And since you're there in the right time, you actually do get some color on the trees too as well, which is super neat.
Yeah, my favorite part of the year is seeing all of the photos and videos come out from Gatlinburg.
Yeah,
and
the
and
people-
you know, it's like you said, the car show ones are dope, like getting photos of your car at the show is dope, but it's like, dude, just going out and driving, finding, because there's just millions of cool spots to go find and explore. And
Very different than Wisconsin.
very different. It's a little more elevated.
Yeah. For those that are gonna go and are gonna spend 8 hours at a car show, what's one tip that you would give them to help them pass the time? Because for me, I was really thankful the last 8-hour car show was modest in Minnesota. It wasn't 8 hours; it was a little shorter than that. But there was food and bar nearby, which was awesome. So I just walked up the stairs, went out, walked a block, went, had lunch, hung out there for an hour, came back for an hour, went back out to it for a drink with a couple buddies, came back an hour later. Gatlinburg doesn't have that. Slammed Enough doesn't have that because they're in an expo center. It's like literally on a hill by itself next to a water park. What's one thing that you think would help somebody pass the time?
Sure, easy. I would say go and interact with the vendors because
good one.
guess what? They're staying even longer than 8 hours. They have to show up before and stay until after. But they're there because they enjoy the show, they support it, and they want to talk with you guys. So like if you go up and shoot the shit with them, they're gonna enjoy it. Not only that, but so if you get around, talk to all the vendors, get to learn what they're about. I'm not saying that for any type of promotional plug or anything. I'm not affiliated with Slammed Enough in any way or anything. I just think it's a good way to pass the time, get to know more people, and who knows what that could turn into down the road. If you see them at another show and they remember you, whatever. But also talk to car owners. I don't think people do that enough. If you really enjoy a car, hunt down the owner, because I promise you they would love to hear that you enjoy their car. Absolutely. And they would love to tell you more about it, or maybe let you sit in it or whatever, get some photos of it. So if there's cars you really like, find the owner and talk to him. Don't be shy. We're all there for the same reason. You have common ground immediately. If you're a shy person, you struggle with conversations, there isn't an easier spot in the world than a car show to just break the ice and start a conversation. So go talk with people, talk about their cars, look at cars. And two, maybe you're thinking of taking up photography or video, shoot the car show. You can even edit it while you're there if you have a laptop.
You cannot upload there because there is no internet.
No, you're not gonna want Wi-Fi, but to edit and stuff like that, or take photos and then pull out your laptop and see how they look blown up, or edit them a little bit. You can do that.
I think that's that's probably the best tip I've heard is like if you are a photographer, videographer, bring your laptop with and an SD card reader, because you can go take a bunch of pictures and edit them to literally pass the time.
Go post up in a corner, go edit for an hour and a half,
come back.
Yeah. And then if you show the photos to the owners and stuff too, they'll be very excited.
It's their favorite thing.
Gels,
You'll be their best friend.
Oh man, I don't. Those are really good ones. I don't like.
How about get a dry erase board and walk around and count the rep wheels?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well,
that is an option. I guess. Yeah.
I've seen a guy
at least know what
controversy.
What wheels are actually rep though.
You gotta. Yep. You gotta know that. There is some weird ones, some weird tips I'll give you. Okay. Personally speaking, bring a second pair of socks.
That you have been saying that honestly.
Why?
And I'm starting to understand.
Let me tell you. If you've been if you've walked around a lot in a day, and it's warm, which it will be, and it's hot, which it was, and you switch out to new cotton socks midday, it's like taking a shower. It's the best feeling in the world. And I'm telling you that if you bring a second pair of socks to Gatlinburg in the afternoon and you switch them out real quick, You will thank me. You can come to the MartiniWorks booth where I will be actively trying
We
to
should
sell you
sell
stuff
socks.
because we need the money. I need the money.
I'm more of a second pair of underwear.
And I will happily try to sell you a T-shirt or a set of wheels or coilovers or whatever it is you need. But I will happily take the statement of saying, hey, I just switched out my socks and they were either A, the best thing you've ever told me, or B, it didn't do shit. I don't care which one it is.
Interesting.
But I'm telling you, you gotta have faith. If you have faith in buying things from MartiniWorks, have faith in me telling you switching out socks halfway through a day is the best thing you can ever do.
I've never tried that, but I guess I'm open to it. You really churched it up.
Yeah,
Made
I know.
It sound pretty
I know.
good. So.
And if you're buying socks and like from a vendor and they're not actually good socks, fuck them. You need good socks. Let's talk about that. You know?
Talk about socks?
Yeah. Good socks. You know, you've ever had the socks
No,
like
I
the
have
linen?
I have
the
a
linen
favorite pair in
socks.
my drawer.
Yes, that they don't do anything. They're just there. You
Yeah.
still can feel your shoe.
it's
The
like the
sweat is
ones-
still going through. It's like a fucking slip and slide in your shoe.
it's
You know
like
what I'm talking
the
about?
ones that come with like, a rental tux.
Yes,
Yeah.
those are dog shit. You need good
Awful.
socks. And a lot of times vendors sell shitty socks. So
It's
if
true.
we do ever sell socks, I promise you, I will make a commitment to you.
Best
You get
damn
good
socks.
socks.
We are going to get you good socks.
You know what they do? It's because they're putting like typically a graphic design on them, so they just want the cheapest sock that they can make the most.
You need it.
profit on,
You
but-
need it stitched. Like
Yeah.
you need it stitched or just white printed.
I agree.
Sorry.
Working with some of that and getting samples and stuff, dude, there's paper thin ones.
Yeah,
you can get, and
I'm
it's
sorry. I
just-
didn't mean to go off topic about the socks. Okay, I'm just saying
I'm all riled up.
that get the laptop. You get a little bit of extra time if you're taking some photos.
Swap the socks.
Swap the socks is a huge one. My recommendation
What
always.
time would you swap socks at Gatlinburg?
Ooh, three.
Damn.
He
Okay.
said that quick.
Three.
Down to a
He has it
science.
in the calendar.
Because you're getting there at 10. You're getting there at 10, baby. You've already done your walk-in. 3 o'clock is probably an hour after you ate. You probably got a
stand in
little
the
bit of the
line.
oil sweats because all the food there is fucking chicken tenders and burgers. So you're going to be sweating a little bit of
little
oil.
greasy, yeah.
A little greasy. 3 o'clock.
Bet.
I would also say bring a couple snacks. I think snacks are good
You
to carry.
can't do that.
You can stuff a goddamn...
You can't do it at the movie theater either.
you can stuff some peanuts, in a sock like a bootleg or something like that. Just bring a couple snacks because it will help you get you through the end of the day. Because there is a point in going to these longer car shows where you hit the point where you're like, I'm gonna use my lunch as like my break time. Like I'm halfway through it, right? Yeah. And you get to like 12:30 and you go and have your lunch and you're done by like 1:10. You're uncomfortably done early, and then you go back into the show. And then you have the second half point, which is 3:30, 4 o'clock, where you're like, I'm kind of hungry. I don't really have anything to do, and I'm bored. Snacks. Snacks are the best way to go.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Socks and snacks, and you'll be good at Gatlinburg.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And also, go have fun. There's so many cool people out there. Please come over to say hi to us at the MartiniWorks booth. We're
Please.
going to have a really cool setup that I'm really excited for personally. And then, come say hi, have fun. Don't do stupid shit if you can avoid it in public. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's the number one way H2I got ruined. It's one person doing something stupid, and then the rules get worse.
There's two big moonshine distilleries down there.
There is.
There's Old Smoky,
Yes.
and the other one is.
I still have all of the bottles.
Oh God, I'm trying to remember.
And I'm mad that I can't remember the other one because the other one, the second one that I can't think of the name of, better than Old Smoky.
I would agree with that because here's the thing.
They are a little touristy, but it's fun to
It
do.
doesn't. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, all of that stuff is tourist attraction after tourist attraction. Don't fucking matter. It is a fun time to go do
if
your little
it's
taste test.
out of your norm, it's still new to you. It doesn't matter if the locals give us think about something touristy or something.
And if you're wondering
Still
if you
fun.
can get that at like your local festival foods or anything like that, the answer is yes. You can get the same exact thing for like $20 less.
Yeah, but it's just the experience of like going in for like a $5 moonshine sample and getting kind of buzzed at like 2 p.m. on
Kinda,
a
you get
fucking
pretty buzzed.
Yeah, and then the guy is just going off on a tangent because this is his like 30th time doing this, like in this hour, and he's having the time of his life, and he's really fucked up because he's been taking the shots.
Yeah, when we did that shit, it was fun as
Yeah.
hell, and I would do it again.
Why can I
probably
not?
will
I
do it
can't
again.
think of the name of it, but go to that one instead of Old Smoky.
That doesn't help.
That does not help at all. I would say, there is a really cool tourist attraction that I don't think a lot of people go to. At least when I've been there, it hasn't been very populated. So if it gets super popular, it's my fault.
Oh God.
It's called It's a really weird name, but
The
it's
Titanic Museum.
It's the one that
do
takes
that.
you up a mountain, right? There's two of them. There's one that takes
The
you up a
chairlift?
mountain. Yeah, that's a chairlift, right?
sky
And then it's
bridge?
like a sky bridge. That one's fucking lame. That one is okay. It's not
it's
that
kinda
exciting.
cool.
There is another one called like Appalabesha
What?
or like Panabashana
Appalachia.
or Samanahama.
What?
It's like this weird name.
I like how we can't remember the name to fucking anything we did.
Hold on one second.
I rented a UTV and drove it around the city
that's
and
right,
in the
you did.
mountains. That was fucking sick, and it was like $100. It was worth it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Hold on. Anarchista. It's Anarchista. It's the second one.
So what is it?
Okay, so
Is that the mountain coaster?
So it's a mountaintop park.
Oh.
But it's very new and it's a little bit pricey, but it's brand new. It's got like a place that you can go see the top of the mountains. It's got
did
laser
not
light
do that.
shows. It's got a brewery up there. It's
Whoa.
got zip lines. It's got a walk through like the trees that are really tall that you can go through. Like it's a really fun experience. It was like I think it's like $30-ish a ticket. Otherwise, you can go on Groupon and get it for like $25. Totally worth doing with the friends. Go a little bit either in the morning or in the evening. Don't go in the middle of the day because
Right.
you don't see shit.
And it'll probably be hot as fuck.
Yeah, Gatlinburg is hot.
You really think it wouldn't be because it's
So
the fall?
I know they've split the shows now. They do the one in like the summer, and then the Gatlinburg in the fall, like the original one.
Because they have summer in the
Dude, I
summer.
can't even imagine the fucking.
No,
summer
I
one.
wouldn't
That's
even.
gotta be
I don't
so
think I'd
hot.
want to do the summer one, to be
It's gonna be
honest.
so fucking hot.
The whole
The rain
trip-
helps because it rains quite a bit there, but
no, it
The
just
thing
makes
is
it
it's
more
just
humid.
it's an expensive trip to go.
It is.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is. It is one of those ones where it's like this is the one trip per year that a lot of people take, and it's on a lot of people's radar for good reason. But it is pricey.
So don't fucking ruin it because people are spending a lot of money.
I think the people listening to this podcast are honestly the people we don't need to worry about.
Yeah.
That is true.
Tell your
That
friends
is
not to
true.
ruin it.
Yeah, and if there's a street takeover, fight them myself.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs. I think we're done with this episode. I think we're
Yes,
at
sir.
time. We hope you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe. The biggest thing you can do for us to help us out is drop a comment, and of course, check out MartiniWorks.com if you are looking for parts for your car. We have lowering springs, coilovers. We've got exhaust now, which is super
But
exciting.
if you're looking for something, just message us and we can maybe help you out.
Yeah, and if you want to help us with site improvements, shoot me a jingle. Okay, happy to help. So, thank you guys so much, Dakota and Gels.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Thanks for all the nice comments on the podcast too. I like reading the comments on the
me
podcast.
happy.
They're really nice.
Yeah, they are.
compared to other videos.
They're very sweet. All right, bye.
Bye.